Today's guest very well might be my favourite so far. He's a childhood friend of mine, the only Fremantle fan I know, one of the most passionate fans I know, and he happens to be an up-and-coming rapper in the Australian scene. Ferdinand, welcome to the pod, mate. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Thanks so much for having me.
No worries. So not to undersell it, but Freo have been very good this season. Sitting first on the
They've been
ladder,
pretty decent, yeah.
1-11. You're in the midst of an 11-game winning streak, which is the longest
Mm,
in your history. How is it?
exactly.
How is it to be a Freo fan right now?
Oh, I mean, it's as good as ever, Like we've had some rough years, especially, after that like high of that 2013 to 15 period. After that, there were some dud years where we were kind of near the bottom, and then we got Justin Longmuir, and it did take a little bit of time to kind of like click and just get everything going where we wanted to. But it feels like finally something's kind of building. I mean, it's still a bit early to call like this year, but it is looking good. It's looking promising. So
Oh
yeah.
yeah, from an outsider perspective, you guys are just honestly
Mm,
such a fun team to watch, and like it's kind of good. Like obviously, I'm a fan of a Melbourne-based team. We're both from
mm,
Melbourne. We know what it's like with the media. Like they really push the big Melbourne teams. But to see a non-Victorian team doing so well, I couldn't be happier for you guys, and I think it's so good for the
mm.
league. Quickly, you're not from Perth. We both grew up in Melbourne,
No.
right? Your dad's
Yeah.
a Hawks fan. Tell the
Mm.
people
That
why
is,
you picked Fremantle.
oh, well, it's a good question, and it's one I get asked a lot. I basically chose them back when I don't know how old I was, but yeah, like early primary
You were
school.
pretty young, from what I
Oh
remember.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I mean, yeah, my dad definitely loves Hawthorn. He's always like watching the games. But I don't know if I can stand it, but I don't like the team too much.
Yeah.
And I just really liked, well, I really like the green and stuff.
Yeah, the
Hence like
retro.
the background today as well. But yeah, I just also really loved the players growing up. Like Stephen Hill was one of my favorite players. Michael Johnson as well. Matthew Pavlich, I mean, can't go past him. Like, yeah, just that team was like just really cool to see. And yeah, I mean, ever since then, I've just been on the Freo train, and well, I'm glad to be now. So yeah, it's been a great like few years as well. So
Yeah, no, absolutely. For you, it'll be so good when you finally do it, when you finally win that premiership,
mm,
because like you easily could have picked the Hawks, and I think I'm pretty sure you picked
yeah,
Freo when we were in like year one, right? So that was like you
mm,
hopped on Freo just before you made the grand final. You
yeah,
could have
yeah, that's
seen
right,
that Hawks three-peat, right? But you stuck with
for
Freo. They
sure.
chose you. Like the normal thing to do
Mm,
is right, you pick your dad's team. That's what I did.
yeah,
How that's gone, whatever. Like I'm still happy with it. But the fact that you, by your own merit, picked Freo, I think that actually kind of adds a little
mm,
bit more of a connection
yeah,
because you went out of your way to choose them, which I think is pretty cool. And I mean,
no, true.
me and we've had our fair share of gone to like Freo games in Melbourne. You've seen some pretty cool moment. What's the best like moment you've seen at a
Ooh.
Freo game, like I guess in Melbourne?
Yeah, yeah. One of them is actually quite a funny one. It's like it was a Mother's Day game. So my mum tagged along, and she's not like a big AFL fan or anything,
Yeah,
but it was the one where David Mundy kicked that goal after the siren,
against the
and I was
Tigers.
basically yeah in that cheer squad, and the
Yeah,
goal it was like right there the set shot, and it was just such a good moment, and like all those Richmond fans, they were
yeah.
just so pissed off.
That was against
So
like
that.
Richmond in their peak as well. Like they were really good.
Mm,
Yeah.
They were decent, yeah. So yeah, that was a really good win. And there's just been actually so many classic games like at Melbourne. Even like against the Demons, when they had that like big winning streak, at the MCG, then we like beat them.
Yeah.
That one was also nice. And I mean, yeah, even some of the North games that we've been to, they've been
Yeah.
pretty good
You've
as well.
you've won every time, but
Yes,
yeah.
yes. And there's been some not so good ones as well, like
Oh yeah.
Bulldogs a couple of years ago, where it's like,
Yeah.
60 points, and then St Kilda last year, that was also
Were you
pretty
at that
rough.
were you
So
at that one?
I was at that
I think I was
game.
gonna come
Yeah.
with you to that one. To be honest, I'm
Mm.
very glad I didn't. Um,
I probably shouldn't have gone to that in retrospect,
yeah.
but
Nah,
it
but
is what it
since
is.
then, that game's actually been a big talking point. Like, I've heard a
Mm,
lot of your players be like, that was the game where we switched and we like.
yeah,
I think since then you've lost about like 5 games. So I think you needed a
yeah.
game like that. One I remember, not because it was a good game. Do you remember the draw, the Freo Richmond draw
Oh,
4 years
yes,
ago?
I do remember. That
Yeah,
was, yeah, I do actually remember that pretty clearly.
yeah. It
It
was an
was
awful
not the
game.
great game in terms of skill and whatnot, but
Yeah.
no, it's like 52-52, wasn't it? It was
Yeah,
something
yeah,
low like
exactly.
that. Yeah.
It's the only draw I've ever been to, so
Mm.
that's why it sticks
Yeah, no,
out.
that was cool to see. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it
that's
was
true.
Noah Cumberland played on after the siren. He could have had a
Mm.
shot. Um,
Oh, that was so bad, actually.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh
yeah.
man.
Nah, that's yeah.
Oh,
No, that David Mundy one. I think a lot of people remember that. That was pretty unreal. All right,
mm.
let's get into the your game against Brisbane on the weekend. So arguably that was your most important win of the season. Like you've had some big scalps, not scalps. They're not scalps for you guys anymore because you're first. But you beat Freo. You beat Freo. Freo beat Hawthorn in Perth. That was that Wharfy time. We can get into that as
Yes.
well. Um,
Yep.
but Brisbane and Brisbane is such an important game to win. Like so,
Mm.
Brisbane coming off that really bad game against the Giants. They've been in bad form.
Yep.
Myself, I actually thought Brisbane were going to win. I apologise.
Mm.
Brisbane off a loss like that, after what they've shown in the last 2 years, you just expect them to do it at the Gabba, right? I'm sure you probably felt similar.
Yep.
How did you feel actually going into that game? Did you think you were going to continue the streak?
This game I was a bit unsure of. But that being said, sometimes I'm like a bit of a pessimist when it comes to Freo because they have had like occasions where they probably should have won
Mm,
that game and then it doesn't quite go our way. But this one against Brisbane, like you just thought they would like really bounce back, especially after that Giants game because that was a bit a bit of a blowout,
yeah, that was
especially that
wild.
third quarter. So yeah, that was insane. And then just like we hadn't won at the Gabba since 2016. And I had a look at like who was playing that time, and it was like Darcy Tucker was still in the Freo
Yeah,
colours
North
alongside
Legends.
yeah, Hayden Ballantyne. So like
Yeah,
there were still like remnants of that like old era as well, and so it's been a long time coming, and yeah, there's just watching the game. It was really like interesting just to see how they actually like matched up, and like really got to Brisbane because they were quite fumbly early on as well, and
yeah,
that
very.
was just in part to like the pressure we were putting on, and we like quickly put the game kind of onto like our own hands, and that's a big thing for like an away game. So yeah, that was really important.
Yeah, no, I thought it was brilliant from you guys. Like, I think going into it, Brisbane aren't a good matchup for you guys ever. Like,
Mm,
and the way they've won the two flags in the last few years is their uncontested ball at the back, chipping it
mm,
round until they can find an option side 50. That style of play has just gone out the window with Sydney's forward handballing game. You guys have actually done it a bit differently, I've noticed. So you've got more wins than Sydney, so you've been more successful at what you've done than Sydney. But
mm,
that game against Brisbane was the most, I'm pretty sure it was the most meters gained you've got from handballs this year. Is that true?
mm.
Did you notice a change in your game in terms of the forward handball stuff?
Yeah, this one was actually it was a really important thing they brought into this game. Like they have been handballing a lot like this year. Um, but at the same time, they are still called like, the slowest team in the AFL
Yeah,
at just like moving the ball. But you could really tell they wanted to like just go for it. And some of those chains, if you like watch the highlights and stuff, like with Bolton, Murphy Reed, Switkowski, Frederick, all these
yeah,
guys, they're like really quick. And
yeah.
yeah, they just got going, And I said before, in that third quarter, it was like 98% by hand, which is like insane for a quarter. Like,
That's not normal at all.
no,
That is not
that's not normal,
normal.
and that's the like quarter we got away from them. So
Yeah,
if we can do that against like good teams like Brisbane, that's a really important asset.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I noticed early on. This is when I knew that my tipping Brisbane was a mistake. There was this one play early on. You should have been up by way more. By the way, like you should have blown him
mm,
out in the first quarter. There was this
that's true.
one play. it started with Frederick and it ended up with an Isaiah Dudley goal. Literally, it was
Mm.
from Brisbane. I'm pretty sure from Brisbane back 50 to your inside 50. It was all handballs up until the Dudley mark inside 50. I was like, I haven't seen Freo do that since. Not even with Ross Lyon because that was a
Mm.
different time. Like
No, that was
I
a
was like,
different. Yeah,
I was
definitely.
like, I've never seen Freo do that, and I'm like, this is so exciting. Like,
Mm.
yeah, do you remember that? You know the play I'm talking about, like the really early
Yes, I
one.
do. Yeah, yeah. No, that was a really good goal actually, and I mean there were a few like that. They just kept moving the ball, and yeah, I mean like under Ross Lyon that was quite a defensive outfit. And this one, especially bringing in Shai Bolton and Murphy Reed in that trade, that's really just like electrified our side.
What a
We
trade!
definitely yeah, what a trade!
My
Like we
God.
definitely needed that because yeah, that's the thing. We were quite a slow like ball moving like kind of side, but and we still are in some like regards. Like sometimes we chip it around and just kick down the line and whatnot. But yeah, now we can also have those moments where we just like just go so quickly and like a few handballs and then you're away. So it's really fun to watch as well for like a neutral fan.
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely enjoying you guys play footy right now. I've noticed that out of any team in the league, you've got probably the biggest disparity in terms of your tallest players and your smallest players. And I
Mm.
think it
Yep.
is absolutely key to the way you play. So you've got your big guys up front. You've got Tracy, Amos, Voss. Tracy's the one that's been getting a lot of the credit for contested marking, crashing packs. He's unreal at that. Voss is just a bit of a maniac. He's like just
It's
no
crazy.
fear.
Yeah.
But and then Jai Amos has, reaped the benefits. He's got 30 goals, which is very impressive for him.
Mm.
But you look at those three tools, they're like all like what, 6'3" and above. But then the rest
Mm.
of your forwards are all like below 5'10". So you've got this
Mm.
weird gap. We've got really tall players and then really small. So your other forwards are what? Frederick, Murphy
Yeah,
Reed sometimes,
Dudley,
Bolton sometimes, Christian
Slikowski, yeah.
Sherry,
Oh yeah, sure,
Isaiah
yep.
Dudley, Sam Skrzydowski. Like those are really they're like some of the smallest players in the AFL. But you've got the big boys. A lot of issues I find this with North is medium-sized players are a killer.
Mm.
So sometimes if you're like 6'1" and you grew up playing as a tall forward and then you end up being the height of a small, you can't quite play that game. Or the opposite, you grow up as a small but
Mm.
then you end up being a bit taller. You guys have the perfect thing. It's like your talls know that they're talls and your smalls know that they're smalls. Do you think like is that how you read your forward line at the minute?
Yeah, well, I mean, a funny thing is like, with that disparity you were talking about, how we've got Mason Coxley in the side, the tallest AFL player, and then yeah, Isaiah Dudley as well, the
Yeah.
smallest player. So already that shows that yeah, there is a big gap. But yeah, the awesome thing about that forward line is with those key forwards, they're all sort of doing a different thing, but still like coming together as like a really good package. Like you said with Tracy, just those packs he's just like crashing into, just getting the ball. He's like running just down the field as well. It's like really impressive as like an outlet kick coming out of like D50. And then yeah, you look at Voss when he's on, when he's getting goals, and like not sometimes he does miss the occasional shot and
Yeah.
whatever, but when he's getting those goals, like the last couple of weeks, against Essendon, 5 goals, and this one, 3 goals as well. He just looks good, doesn't he? He's
Oh
like,
yeah.
and he just brings a lot of energy to that side. And then the other players feed off it. And I think one thing in this game especially was like Voss. Actually, he was marking it like sort of outside the forward 50 a few times and then kicking it inside. And his
Mm.
kicks were actually like really spot on. And that's
Yeah.
something he hasn't done that much of. But in that game, he did it a few times, and that was actually really impressive. And then I think a few times it was to like Jai Amos, and his leading patterns are like top tier. That's why he's getting all those goals. And I think last year he only got 32 goals, so it was a bit of a dud season for him.
He's already
And
at 30.
he's already at 30,
Yeah.
and I think that's also because they kind of weren't really kicking it that well to him. Like he was still making those leads, but the kicks just weren't as like spot on, or they were just like going to Tracy, those kind of things. But now they have like spread kind of who they're going to kick it to, and I think that really helps as well, because then for the defense, you kind of don't know exactly where it's going to go. And it also means then those small forwards like, Dudley, Switkowski, they have a really good chance at kind of guessing where the midfielders are going to like kick it into, and then just like running on the ground, picking it up, snap goals like Dudley did. So it's really exciting, like moving forward. And they've already got like 48 goals between them, like the three key forwards. So it's not bad.
Yeah, no, your forward line is like so functional right now, and I think it
Mm,
has the structure, and you've got the point of difference to be able to like challenge in finals with that forward line as well. So very impressive
mm,
stuff. We've talked a lot about the forward line, but obviously it's not just that. You have one of the best
no.
back lines in the league, and that's crucial. I think a player that's been underrated for years. You probably recall I bagged this guy a bit a few years ago because I thought he really
Oh
dropped.
yeah.
Alex Pearce,
Yep.
I think, is such an important player for you guys. He's your captain. I just don't see that guy lose a contest. How
Mm.
important is your back line like this season? How good has it been?
Yeah, well, our backline's always been like our strength. Because like a few years ago, our forward line was not that great. It was led
Yeah.
by like Kavanagh and those kind of like Rory Love as well.
Yeah,
So
jeez.
it has changed quite a bit, but our defense has always been solid. And again this year, like we're first for points against. So it's definitely holding up. And Pierce, of course, is like a crucial part. The only thing is like he has had a few injury niggles and
Yeah.
things like that. And in the game against Brisbane, he did play his role. But again, he did come off at one point as well. And you just sometimes fear that if he goes down, that's gonna be big, and you don't really want that to happen. But of course, like the defense isn't just like the one man kind of defense; it's like all of them, and it's been quite a revelation this year. Last year he was decent as well, but Carl Warner,
Oh yeah.
he's
Oh
had
yeah.
some like really good games recently, getting close to the 30 possessions, and just a lot of like intercept marks as well. And in that game against Brisbane, there was a really good moment where it was like an outlet kick for Brisbane, and they were kicking it to I think Harris Andrews, and then Carl Warner just comes over, spoils it, and I think that just shows like the step up in his level as well. He's been like a really important player and still pretty underrated. Not heaps of people are talking about him, but
Mm.
yeah, he's pretty
We'll
solid.
we'll clip this up so people know who he is. But yeah, he's been great.
Mm,
He Yeah, I think the huge thing with you guys is your floor, right? Like your weakest five players would probably get into every
mm.
team. Like to mention North legend Corey Wagner as well. Like he does,
True. Yes.
he just puts in the work. I think Matt Johnson did a tag on Lockie Neal. He was one of
Yep.
the highest rated on the ground. Probably had his best game for his career.
Mm.
Your floor is so important. We haven't mentioned some of your stars yet, though. Your midfield. I think you
That's a good
guys
point.
have.
Yeah.
I think you guys have the best ruckman in the league in Luke Jackson. How have you read your midfield mix this year?
Yeah, the midfield mix has been pretty good. Like, I mean, and there's definitely a lot of like people trying to get into that midfield. And like you just said, Matthew Johnson had that role on Lockie Neal. Unfortunately, he picked up like a bit of an injury in that game, but he's been playing well.
So is he going to
And
miss
then of
the?
course,
Is he going to miss the North game?
I think it looks likely, unless it's just like it was just something really minor. But yeah, probably. Yeah,
Yeah,
him and Brennan Cox are probably the two that will go up. But yeah, we'll probably speak on that a bit
yeah.
more
We'll speak
later.
about that later. Yeah.
Um, yeah, and well, yeah, just I mean, you go back to that midfield, like Jackson, Brayshaw, Sarong, Hayden Young, Bolton, all these guys. I mean, they're having stellar seasons, and they're all like offering a bit of something different. And in the last couple of games as well, we haven't had Sarong, so it's been
Mm.
interesting to see how they've kind of compensated for that. And yeah, I mean, the midfield's still solid. We did lose clearances against Brisbane over the weekend, but I mean, that's kind of to be expected. They're a really strong like midfield side.
Yeah, they're number
Um,
one in clearances. So
yeah, yeah, exactly. So But yeah, it's just like really fun to watch those guys go at it. And yeah, Hayden Young's also been out with like a concussion and was out earlier as well, so he should be back this week as well. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we could talk about how good Freo are all video, but we do have to get into the game. So
Yes.
Saturday, 2:15 at Bunbury Oval. You guys have never
Mm,
played there. We played against West Coast last year. We won by a few points. Horrible game. Uh, our teams come up against each other for the first and only
mm.
time this year. Last time we played, do you remember this game? Was a six? You guys got a 6 point win in round
Yeah,
14 at Optus.
I do. Yeah, it was that was quite a strange game actually. It was like a bit wet, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, we got away from you in like that third quarter. But then yeah, you guys did come back pretty, like that was actually
Mm.
a really good spell by you guys.
Yeah, we're on good form at
And
that time of the year.
yeah, and I remember like Nick Larkey, he's always been a pest, especially to Freo as
He
well.
loves
He's
playing you
always like,
guys.
yeah, he's
Yeah,
always getting a lot of goals. So
yeah.
um yeah, no, you guys look strong in that game. Yeah,
Mm,
from memory. So
yeah. I
I think
remember Josh Tracy got that mark right at the end.
mm,
Um,
yeah, inside the defense, yeah, that
yeah,
was that was a big mark.
yeah.
Yeah.
So North, we sit 5 and 6 after the bye. What's your read on us so far this year? Do you think like the improvement is like legitimate?
I think so. I haven't actually seen too much of you, to be honest, but from like the results and things, there have been some, shaky ones.
Yeah.
Like Adelaide, I remember seeing your videos. You weren't too happy about that, that
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
But like aside from that, like that Gold Coast game, I saw the highlights for that one. That
Crazy.
was a good performance. Like
Yeah,
if you can do that against a side like Gold Coast, who are like they're looking at a premiership as well. They want to win.
yeah,
Um,
true.
it's a good look for you guys. I think
Mm.
there's of course there's still like parts you can improve, but like that's the same for all teams.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely step forward.
Yeah, no, that Gold Coast game was huge. It was the first game we actually beat like a good team. Like our other four
Mm,
wins were against the bottom four, so to finally get a scalp just before the bye is awesome. And now
yeah.
we head into our 2 weeks in Perth. We've got the
Mm,
weird to say this, but it's our home game against you guys.
that is
So
strange. Yeah.
you're actually you're coming to our home. No.
Mm,
So yeah, we've got these 2 weeks in Perth, which is from last year was actually a huge success. Like we beat West Coast and we
mm,
nearly beat you guys, and
yeah.
huge. It's a great bonding for the boys, and I think to get as winter hits in all of Australia, it's good for them to get
Mm,
some like nice weather over in Perth, and we've got a
yeah.
pretty
True.
good fan base over in Perth, so. I'm pretty excited for this next 2 weeks, and this game in particular.
Yeah.
I see this one against you guys as a free hit. To be honest, like you're first. You're on an 11 game winning streak. There
Yeah.
is absolutely no expectations for us to win, and we actually
Mm.
play better when that is. And you guys in history probably play worse when
That is
this
definitely true.
pressure's on you.
Yes. Yeah.
But in saying that, I don't think we will win. But what you know, mate, there is always a chance. What area of
Mm.
North's game could threaten and could maybe pull off an upset?
Well, I do think their midfield is actually very strong as well. Like like LDU, Sheasel, Sullivan, these guys, they're actually pretty threatening when they're on. So I think the midfield game will be very important. And then, going forward, if you can really hit those targets, hit Larky on the chest,
Mm,
that's gonna be pretty crucial, I think. Because like we said, he's definitely a problem against Freo. So yeah, I think that part of your game is gonna be really important. Um, the thing I think Freo can definitely get on top of is that quick ball movement and then inside going inside 50 because I had a look at like just your overall scores and things and there's only 3 sides you've like conceded less than 78 points against and they're Port Adelaide, Essendon,
yeah,
and who else was it? It
it was Richmond.
was Richmond, yeah. So the
They're
bottom
pretty
three
bad as
sides
well. So
as it stands. And there's a really good podcast for Freo as well, Purple Rain, and I got this
Shout out
stat.
them.
It was yeah, shout out them. They're really good at like they do also like a little podcasting after each home game.
Yeah.
So that's always fun to watch. But yeah, there's a stat where if they get 78 points or more, they're 65-8, so an 89% winning streak under Justin Longmuir.
Wow.
So
That is a cool
that
stat.
that is a cool stat, and it's pretty telling because yeah, North Melbourne haven't been able to stop those good teams from
Yeah.
getting less than that. So I think that would be a big game kind of thing. If Freo can get whatever 15 goals or so, that is probably the game. But that being said, North Melbourne have actually put on some like big scores. They got, I mean, against less opposition, but like 130 points is still
Was that against
a very.
Richmond?
That was against
Yeah.
Richmond, but that's a big score.
Yeah, Paul Curtis
you
got
can get
6
anywhere
goals.
close, yeah, true.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you can get anywhere near that, it'll be a good game.
Yeah, interesting you say that about like the scoring stuff. Like if it is a low scoring game, we might have a better chance. But I also think you guys thrive in those sluggish games. I actually
That's
think the
true.
only
Yeah.
way we could win is if it's 100 plus both teams, and hope that this stat that you've said we can debunk it. But
Yeah.
I don't think we win if it's a slog. Last year's game at Bunbury was a slog. Depending on the weather in Perth's a bit cooked at the moment, so
Yeah.
it could, if the rain and the storms over in Perth keep on going, it could be a bit of a slog.
For
But
sure.
yeah, I wanna look into the midfield battle specifically, where I think we can get on top, but also you could as well, right? So North this year we are 5th in clearances. You guys are 7th, so we're a slightly better clearance team. But what you guys do best at clearance is actually prevent teams from getting clearance. So you're the best. You're 18th in clearances conceded. So you either neutralize a clearance or you win it. So I think your defensive side of your midfield is probably the most impressive part. So Andy Brayshaw and Caleb Sarong are very crucial in your defensive side of your clearance battle. But my actual main concern is your forward line, and we touched on that. I don't think we match up very well. So you've got Amos, Tracy, Voss, the big three.
Yep.
Our 3 talls at the moment. No, it's only 2. We've only got 2 tall defenders. We might have to bring in another one. So we've got your man Griffin Logue, who
Hey.
I've been critical of him in the past. He's actually in good form. He kept Ben King to 1 goal. I think he would likely be the. This is hard. I don't even know what the matchups would be. Maybe Logue would go on Tracy, because I'd say Tracy's your best forward. And then we would get Charlie Comben, who has been very up and down. He's either really good or really bad. Don't know what we're going to get from him. It could happen in one half and the next. He's a bit of everywhere, but he can be really good. I'd say he would go on to Voss, because I think Comben's aggression can match Voss. Amos is an issue, I think, because I don't know who's a good matchup for him. Amos is a bit smaller than those 2, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he's a bit smaller, a little bit skinnier as well, especially compared to those guys. But yeah, so he's really smart with how he plays as well. So if you can get someone that's got like good footy IQ and is pretty quick, I think that's a good opposition.
So could an undersized defender play on Amos? That's what I'm thinking. Like, do we need to bring another tall in for Amos, or could someone undersized play on Amos?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't think an undersized could, because he is still tall.
Yeah.
Probably have to double check exactly how tall, but and he is a good mark as well. So that would be a bit tricky, but I could still see it happening, especially if like you kind of do some rotations. If like whenever Tracy or Voss or whatever is off. But yeah, you also have the risk with like someone like Luke Jackson or Mason Cox like pushing forward.
Yeah.
So you probably do.
I'm already scared about this game.
Yeah, because there is a lot of tall timber, so
Yeah.
yeah, you probably do want another one, but
So I'm like, based on this, the tools are the threat. But if it does rain, that would be great to stop those tools. But then you've got some of the best small forwards in the league. So I don't know how we're going to stop
mm,
them too. Like Dudley is such a hard matchup. Like he's a very
yeah,
not like in a disrespectful way. He's a very unassuming player. I reckon. You don't like. He's a fan favorite as well of you guys, but he's a bit like he's unassuming. Like you're like, oh, he's a small, you know,
mm,
forward. He doesn't look quick. He doesn't look like he's that skillful, but he
yeah, for
just
sure.
like he just converts and he just finds chances. You've also got Murphy Reed, who's just an incredible player. I would
Mm.
love to see Murphy Reed and Finn O'Sullivan on each other, two players from last year's draft,
Ooh,
who I think they're the two best players from last year's draft. Like obviously Murphy Reed won the Rising Star, but Finn O'Sullivan's
mm,
clearly showing that we were
yeah,
right
for
to get
sure.
him at pick two. I'd love to see Murphy Reed on Finn O'Sullivan on each other. Um,
Yeah,
Going
that'd
back
be cool.
to the team, you talked about a few players that might come in. So you
Yep.
said you've got a few injuries. You've got Matt Johnson might be out, Brendan Cox might
Yep.
be out, Alex Pearce maybe. Do Sarong and Young come back in for those two? Just is that a direct swap for those two?
So I think Johnson, I think if Sarong will come in,
Yep.
then Brennan Cox, I think they'll get another tall defender to replace him. So looking there at some of like the Peel players at the moment, and also so there's Oscar McDonald. He's played some AFL so far this year. He's
Yep.
probably the most likely to come in because he's pretty much the same player, just not quite as good. Um,
Yeah.
and
True.
then in the Peel though, for like our seconds, there's this guy called Hugh Davies. Have you heard of him?
I actually haven't. Is he a
Yeah.
defender?
He's a defender. He's got like orange hair, and he's played
Okay.
two AFL games before.
All right.
Um, and Freo won both of them, so 100%
Oh, good
win
luck,
accuracy.
charm.
Yeah, but yeah, he's had some like really good outings recently for Peel. 2 weeks ago, it's like 27 possessions and 21 marks. So he can clearly play.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll be brought in, but he's one that might. Um, and then also looking at Hayden Young, he could come in. He had just the concussion, so I think he will come in this week.
Yeah.
And that will probably be for probably someone like maybe Sherry.
Mm,
Not that or O'Driscoll, one of those two.
yeah. They're like
Not that they've been
freak
playing.
players.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
haven't been playing badly at all. It's just Hayden Young is an awesome player. Um, and if say it'll probably be Hayden Young for O'Driscoll,
Yeah.
but if not, probably then Hayden Young for Sherry, and that would probably push Murphy Reed more into the forward line
Yeah.
for
True.
this game. But yeah, we'll see. So it's a good thing to have though. Lots of players trying to like break back into the team. There's also Jager O'Meara. He's
Yeah. True.
back from injury now. He could be like an easy replacement for Johnson.
So Sean Darcy had his first game back in the Waffle. He had a pretty decent game for Peel. Do you think he comes back in for Mason Cox?
Yeah, I think because we've got the bye next week. And just with his who he's prone to injury, he's had quite a few injuries. I think it's probably best to just keep him away from the game for just a couple more weeks. Just give him that time to like fully recover, get fit. Because sometimes when he has come back a bit soon, he's not the fastest guy. So when he's not fit as well,
Yeah.
he's not really running much.
True.
And that can be a bit of a liability, especially with our quickness at the moment. So I think keep Mason Cox in for this week. He's been pretty solid. He has had some like fumbly moments. There were some strange old kicks in that Brisbane game, but
Yeah.
he's been playing well, and like a couple of weeks ago got some like crucial set shot goals as well. So I think keep him in, and then reassess in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. He's very serviceable, Mason Cox, and especially this year, how important second rucks are. I genuinely think
Mm.
he's like good enough to play, and I think we've actually had some ruck issues this year. So I don't think
Mhm.
having Cox in at all is gonna. It'll help you more than anything. We've in the last 4 weeks played two rucks, so we've had Sherry
Mhm.
who's had a bit of a weird year. Like he had that 3 game suspension when he rubbed blood on Andrew McGrath, which wasn't
Oh
great.
yeah.
But the new ruck rules have really stiffed him up. Like he can't jump that high, so he in the centre bounces against Gold Coast, he got slaughtered. Like they had a record scoring in the first half from centre bounces. So we ended up putting Cooper Trembath for centre bounces, who's a great leaper at the footy. But we've been playing this guy called Will Dawson as a second ruck, which I'm not too sure about because he's a defender, but we've been playing him as a second ruck. And we have a guy called Taylor Goad who hasn't played yet in the wings. So we might be debuting him against you guys. But yeah, to go back to your changes, to sum it up, what are the changes that you think will be made for this game for Freo?
Yeah, I think they'll bring Sarong back. So I think he'll replace Johnson. I they'll Justin Longmuir will like most likely replace Brendan Cox with Oscar McDonald. But I wouldn't be like sad to see Hugh Davies get the call up or anything. So
Hmm.
that is a possibility. And then I think Hayden Young will come in. Maybe for O'Driscoll. I think that will be most likely to happen. And I'll probably keep it at that. And then Sean Darcy can come back later.
Yeah, no, I like that. Now to the North team. So, because we've had a week off, it's a bit team changes are a bit weird. Like it's like almost like you're just getting a whole other like a new team now because they've had 2 weeks off.
Mm.
Um, and Clarko this year has been, which I think is good. He's been very lenient to like do like a lot of changes. So, like even
Yep.
after the Adelaide game that we got smashed, we only did one change, and it was Riley Hardman for Tom Blamiers. And then the week before, after the Sydney game, we were unchanged. So there's definitely continuity is really important for us right now, and you guys are probably the best at that. Like I think was it the first 5 games this year you had like no changes to your lineup, something like that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we've actually there's only been a few players that have been like in and out of the lineup. So overall, like the squad has actually been like really healthy. So that's been good.
Yeah, I think that's a direct correlation to how well you've done as well. So I think I want a few changes, but I don't think there'll be that many. Um, Honestly, the only change I think might happen, we don't have any injuries to our current team. I think the only change that could happen is Taylor Goad to debut and come in for Will Dawson. So he'll be a second ruck. I think we have to have two rucks against you guys because you're obviously going to have Jackson and Cox or Darcy. Obviously, all three can't play together. So
Mm.
I don't be surprised if we have a debutant against you guys. And because we've got a 2 week trip to Perth, we're going to be traveling a lot of players over. So yeah, I'd say our only change will probably be Taylor Goad for Will Dawson. If not, we're going to be unchanged, which is crazy to say. Like, that is so odd for us to be unchanged. But we're coming off a
Mm.
win and a bye. Like, there's no need to chop and change because, I mean, yeah, we're playing fairly well at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's your prediction for this game? What do you think happens?
Oh, I think well, yeah, the weather is an interesting point because if it is really bad,
Should I
like the
check the
last couple of days
forecast
have
for
been.
for
Yeah,
Bunbury?
maybe check the
Bunbury
forecast.
weather. Do you know how far away
Is that
Bunbury is from Perth?
Oh, it's not too far. I forgot exactly, but it's within 2 hours, I think.
It's like
It's
is it
kind
like
of
is it like the Geelong of WA
yeah,
kind of thing? Yeah. Okay,
yeah,
so
I think
I've
so.
checked the
Yeah.
weather here. You're good. Saturday is 19 and
Oh,
sunny, so I think the
okay.
storm's left Perth. So yeah, 19 and sunny, absolutely no wet
Okay.
conditions at all. So based on that, what do you think?
I'm thinking maybe 103 for Freo to about let's say 90 or so for North Melbourne,
Really, you think it'll be
something like that.
close?
I think it'll either be like really close because I think they have like matched up, really well.
Yeah,
Like
true.
in recent seasons, have had some close
Beat you
games,
a
like
few
that
years
one
ago in
point
Perth.
game. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I think we can maybe get like a 4 goal kind of buffer, something
Yeah.
like that. But I think yeah, it'll be around 3 goals. Let's say.
Yeah, no fair. You don't like you don't have a knack of like smashing teams. Like you're not like your
No.
percentage is lower than a fair few of the teams below you. It doesn't matter because if you've got more wins. But yeah, I weird, but I don't think you'll smash us. Like I think that'd be one disrespectful to my team to say that you guys will smash us, but also just it's just true. You don't smash teams. Like even against the lower teams, like Essendon, you like got it
Mm,
done early, and then they came back, and it was only like 40 points in the
yeah.
end. Like you kind of, which I think is a really smart way to play it. You know that you're good enough to beat teams in patches, so you don't have to
Mm,
always play 4 quarters. I think that'll maybe be something you need to address further in the year. But for now,
yes.
phases of the game where you're so dominant is how you're getting your wins. The issue is if you do laps and we turn it on like we did against Gold Coast, we
Exactly.
show we can take the game away from teams. But I think because Bunbury's a weird ground. Like it could be a very odd game.
Mm,
I don't think we'll be able to do it at Bunbury. What we can do under the roof. Like we've won all 5 of our games at Marvel. So I'm thinking,
that's it.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think you guys will probably win by like 4 to 5 goals. I'd say. I think, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, it's even though we have matched up well against you in the past, I think it's a different Freo team, but it is a different North team. But I think yeah, you win by about 20 to 30 points. I'd say, but I'd
Okay.
honestly take that not as like an honourable loss, as like something I want to take, but as I said
Mm,
earlier, this is a free hit for us, and it's the start of our Perth trip. What really matters is that we play well, and then we have to beat West Coast the week after. We can't lose to them
yeah.
twice in a year. But we just if we can get a positive start to the trip and compete against you guys, I'll be happy. Because first on the ladder, we're not. It's not realistic that we're going to win, but yeah.
Mm.
Um. Well,
Yeah.
good
No, I
chat,
think you
30.
you'll definitely. Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely. But
No,
yeah,
you
you'll
can.
definitely put up a good fight. I think. Like there, there's always not much like separating a lot of teams.
Yeah, it's true.
It's just how you can do it like week in week out. So yeah, I think this will be a close one. And yeah, definitely just to add on to your fourth quarter thing, well, like the 4 quarters, that is definitely a talking point for Freo. We haven't had like a full game where we've just been able to, well, like you said, just take teams and just like kill them basically.
Yeah.
Even in that Brisbane game, we did let them like score a bit towards the end, and that
Mm.
even just makes the Freo fans a bit nervous. So
Yeah.
even if we have like a 40-point buffer, it's still not always enough. So we'll see.
Yeah. You're a bit of a traumatized fan base, so I
Yeah.
relate. I relate to that. I've seen us. We've probably both seen our teams bottle a lot of leads before. Um.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining me, Ferdy. Really great chat. I'm sure this won't be the last time you'll be on this podcast, and hopefully some of those
True.
Freo podcasts out there, those Freo fan accounts out there, see that this guy knows his stuff and he's one of the biggest Freo fans going around. So yeah, thanks for joining me, Ferdy.